What's up, guys? Got another project here. What we're going to be doing is repairing some bitten wood on my kitchen table leg. My young puppy thought it'd be a great idea to kind of gnaw at our table for a little bit. What you're seeing right now is a couple of failed attempts to try to stain this with the wrong stain color, and doing some repair work using some wood filler. So I've got a little bit of work to do. As you can see, it's pretty bad. All right, you can see it kind of goes around. So I was trying to do this with the leg still on the table, which was a bad idea. Just makes it much harder. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this, but they make these fancy table lifts, and they sell them with whatever color towel you want, right? And then you just put that there, and you're able to support these heavier tables like this, so we can get that leg off. So now I got to get the leg off.
Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world?
Alright, so I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time ever trying to fix a piece of furniture. I'm no carpenter by far. And I try to use like a couple of different stains. I did look at some YouTuber stuff of real people, or people who really know what they're doing when it comes to wood. And it was pretty complex for me. So I just went to like Home Depot and I tried this wood stain, which is supposed to be good. It's like water-based or whatever. And it didn't soak into the wood. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But I think it might have been too dark anyways. And that's the other problem, is trying to get this color to match all the same. And they're, like I said, there's other videos. They made it all like scientific or whatever. And I just, that was too far-fetched for me. So trial and error, that's what I'm doing. And I think I found the right one. I bought these little color markers, or not markers, but they're like, they got stain in them, and tried some different colors. And I landed on red mahogany. If I do a couple of coats, it looks like it's going to match up. So buying this wasn't necessarily cheaper than buying the whole thing of stain, but I mean, it just helped me kind of do it quicker. So I don't know, these friggin' things are kind of pricey for what you get. I think they're like $8 for each one. So anyhow, so I'm gonna just kind of sand this down a little bit more, just to make it look a little bit more uniform. And then yeah, then I'll hit it with the wood filler, and I don't know, see what's up. I gotta get some of that other stain that I put on off that ebony. It's too dark. Looks pretty bad. Hopefully I don't totally ruin this table leg. And I did look at the place where we bought this table from, and unfortunately they discontinued it. So to the point where like you can't even look to see what color the table wood was. Like, you can't see any of those details. It just gives you like some weird name of their model or design line or whatever the hell it was. So that's kind of a pain, right? Try to deal with that too. Just again, not knowing kind of makes it harder, because I was hoping I could just cheat and friggin' just look up what the color of wood was, and that would be the stain I would get, but it's not even there. I don't know, I'm using 400 grit just because it's, I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to take down a huge layer or anything like that. More importantly, I was trying to get rid of that ebony stain that I used because I just did it wrong there, that's for sure. All right. Cool. So, I guess side one, right? So this is the wood filler stuff I'm using. There's another one that I have, and it's got like, you know, calls out having wood fibers or something in it. It's a little harder to work with if you've ever used like Bondo with the fiber filters in it, or fiber, the filler fiber filler, whatever the wording goes with that. If you've ever used that version of Bondo, it's kind of like that. So it just doesn't spread as easily. And yeah, so I don't know. So I'm using this because it's like regular Bondo, but it's pink and it dries white. So it just makes it a little easier to work with. And then it's got the knucklehead indicator where it dries white, right? So I don't have to guess whether or not it's dry or not. If it's, or not white, actually, it dries in this like brown, natural, it says natural, I don't know, natural color. I don't know what it's natural to, but and I'm sure right now, if anybody on this, watching this is a real carpenter, you're probably cringing because I'm doing this all wrong, I'm sure, right? But again, just kind of going with what I know. And hopefully I don't ruin it too bad. Try using a bigger spreader. It's a little easier, more kind of even across the and all I'm trying to do is fill in the like little areas that she dug her teeth into. So, I mean, I'm not trying to really fix highs and lows and, you know, anything of a complex nature or anything like that. So this should be, in theory, kind of an easy thing to do. And then, so once it dries a little bit, I'll come back and hit it with the damp cloth to get some of this excess wood filler off, you know, just to make it look a little bit cleaner. Trying to get it to stain these little bite marks isn't the easiest because they're not really that deep. They're kind of like shallow. So yeah, just kind of as you scrape at it, almost like the filler comes out with it. But I don't want to cake it on because I don't want to spend all day trying to sand something because I'm, you know. All right, cool. So I'll let those two sides dry. And then I'll come back and got to do the other side. So clean up these tools and hopefully we'll get somewhere.
blind. Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah, there's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid.
I let it dry, and then I just hit it with some 800 grit to kind of get the rough edges off, make it nice and smooth again. I can still feel some imperfections here, but I mean, I know it's not going to be a professional finish because first I got to be professional at it, right? So I just want to see. Well, I don't want to see. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go ahead and steam this, and we'll let it dry. I'll probably have to do more than one coat just to kind of get it to the same level of depth or darkness or whatever. And then after that, so first we're going to use this. Vurthane. I don't know. Home Depot. And then this is like a clear coat finish. So I'm doing semi-gloss because they give you satin, semi-gloss, and gloss. This isn't, it's not like ultra shiny, but it's not like matte or like a satin finish. So I went with that middle grade. So hopefully that'll kind of go fine. I don't even know if I was supposed to shake that. All right, so we'll go ahead and brush this on, and then I gotta let it sit for like 2 hours. So it's not a fast process, and so just kind of keep in mind, I guess, if you're gonna do this, better hope nobody needs to use the table, unless you have your fancy jack under there totally supporting it. Alright, so I got this foam brush. They had stain brushes that they look really nice and fancy. I don't think I needed that. I think that's if you're kind of doing a little bit more. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's exactly what I should have bought and I just didn't. But yeah, so let's see here. Alright, alright. So I'll say initially it looks pretty good. It is a strong odor. I got my door open for ventilation. I may crack the main garage door also, just to make sure. Go ahead and put that on its side, and we'll do this. Like when I do this upper area, it looks like it matches pretty good. So my little marker test kind of worked out, I guess. All right, so been working on the leg to the table here for a little bit. And I mentioned about the fumes or the vapor of the stain or whatever. Right after I mentioned that, off camera, I actually looked at the back of the little can there, and it does say, you know, like, you want to make sure you're in a really well ventilated area. In fact, they recommend wearing a respirator. I've got, like I said, my garage open, and the door on the side open to create that ventilation, and then on top of that I got a fan running. So definitely pay attention to that, because reading that, it makes it sound like it's gonna kill you like the minute you inhale it. So regardless, you know, if it's, I don't know how toxic it is, but just something to be aware of. You want to watch out for that stuff. I think that is one of the risks with oil-based stains versus the water-based stains. So I don't think water-based stains require that crazy amount of ventilation or whatever it is. So let's take a look at what this thing looks like so far. So I've got it sanded, and I've put a coat on there. I let it sit for about 2 hours, and then I wiped it off with a towel or a rag. Yeah, with a shop rag. And you can see it's you know, the match in the darker areas where I didn't have to put as much patching or the filler is stained exactly the same kind of as everything else. And then in those areas that have that filler, of course, it is a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna add or apply at least another coat, maybe even a third, to kind of get this thing to blend in more. But now I'm gonna just focus on the areas where it's lightest, because that's where it needs it, right? It doesn't need it all the way down or anything like that. But overall, it's coming out okay. Just yeah, I guess, you know, again, it's a learning thing. I've never done this before, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go. So cool, right? All right, like I said, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to take a different approach on this, because I did the filler and sanded the filler, but and then put on the stain, but it didn't turn out like, this is really bad. This is worse than what it was. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fix it. Oh well. Time to do a little research, I guess, right? Like I said, they're not always winners, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. Wish me luck. All right, so here's my last stitch effort here. I'm going to try to sand this down again, but I'm going to get it to kind of the raw material. Like I said, this is pretty jacked, so it's not like you can do it any worse than what it looks like right now. So I'm going to use this. This is a 60 grit, I think. No, 80 grit. So I'm going to use some 80 grit to just kind of get to the main areas where I, you know, one, try to do the repair and where the actual issue was, and see what happens. This was probably the worst of the sides there. I may have to sand up a little bit higher here just to get those kind of that beat up area. But this was the worst side of it. And then I'm just spot sanding on this to make sure I get the areas that I treated, and hopefully will lessen the work, but we'll see. So now, after I get this a little upper area, I'm just gonna throw some more of that stain on and let it sit for a couple hours and see what happens. So fingers crossed, hopefully I got it this time. All right, so check it out. So that's after I did the major sanding. I let one coat dry, and then I just put another coat on right now. Well, I say I let it dry. It's been about an hour maybe. So I don't know, it seems to be taking a little bit better. Hopefully I can restore this thing. Alright guys, so I got it in here in the garage. You can kind of see the difference there. Like, you could see it, right? But I mean, when you get back, you really don't notice it much unless you get close. I've got a fan blowing on this thing. I don't even know if fans, like, does the air dry the stain? I don't even know. Like, I really am out of my element with this. But so I'm letting it dry up. It is staining the wood pretty good. The next thing to hit this with is going to be this semi-gloss clear, which is supposed to go over the oil-based stains, and that should give me back kind of the shine. So I think that'll get rid of some of my dull spots, and then may actually richen the color a bit, or at least that's what I'm hoping it'll do. So at this point for tonight, I'll wipe it down one last time, let it sit overnight, and then in the morning it's going to get hit with this. And the nice thing is this has got a fast dry time, and then I'll be able to put it back on the table, and we'll take a look at what my table looks like, and maybe look at a before and after shot. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and do the semi-gloss here and see how this works out. But it looks, I mean, again, this just seems a lot darker, and I don't know how to get it more rich than what it already is. So I'm really hoping that this will actually make the difference here. So let's try it out. I'm sure it's going to take a couple of coats of this. It's supposed to be fast drying, so I don't know what that means. Like, if it means it's going to be 5 minutes. Actually, I should probably just look at the can, huh? Because it doesn't really say in the front. Usually they say, like, dries within. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. So I'll let it dry. I'll do a couple of coats, and then I don't know, we'll see what it looks like. All right, so here it is back on the table, and you can see it didn't come out as good as I was hoping. And I've got a flashlight on this right now, but you can kind of see the difference in the colors. So I'm not sure like what I could have done different, but I'll tell you, like, if I shut off the light, you don't really see it at all much. With the naked eye, the camera actually shows more probably. So I'm not really sure like how much more I could have done. Again, this is a learning process, so I have never done this before. Trying it out, and I think if anything, maybe sanding the entire leg down to the bare wood, and then experimenting more with some of the different types of stains. Yeah, this is a tough one. So, if you're looking to repair some type of wood or furniture like that, my suggestion is if you're really, really concerned about it, then either see if you can get a replacement or take it to a carpenter or somebody who knows how to do the woodwork. If you're just kind of, hey, you're good with it, it's not going to bother you too much, then I'd say, knock it out yourself. And, just my lessons learned, sand it down all the way to the bare wood. Don't try to stain on top of anything that's existing, because it doesn't take. And then be aware of what kind of stain you're using, because oil-based stains, they've got a lot of bad vapors for you. So you want to make sure you do that in a well-ventilated area. And if you can, do water-based vapor, or what vapor? What? Do water-based stain, because they don't have that same vapor risk to you. And then just kind of play around with it. Like you're gonna have to experiment a little bit. It's not an easy job to do. I give a lot of respect to the guys who do this full time. So pretty awesome deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. And if you don't want to miss out on that next video, hit the little bell there, and that'll give you the buzz to let you know that the next video is posted. And until the next video, I hope to see you in the win.